Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the second week of the Centre Circle. I am Sean Byrne. I'm here with Sam McKeever. How's it going, Sam? You alright?
Doing alright, not too
Considerably drier Sam McKeever this week.
Yeah.
A little bit of behind the scenes. Last week, first week of the podcast, told Sam where to go, met him. Anyhow, he showed up in the middle of Dublin in a t-shirt and shorts, lashing rain. The lad was absolutely drenched. It looked like he swam to work. Anyhow, right, it's not really work, we don't get paid, but you know what I mean. Week 2, Sam, not pretty good games on this week. Started off with Swansea United. Suppose we'll just get straight into the game. What do you think of it?
Well, I thought that Swansea actually did alright.
Yeah.
But it's just the last 10, like 4-0 I think was a bit
of a capitulation.
Yeah, definitely.
To be honest though, people are saying, United, they didn't look good or whatever, and they struggled against Swansea. The fact that they struggled and still won 4-0 to me speaks volumes.
Yeah. Swansea though, I think that was due to Swansea and how they played. They literally gave no space to the big players, big players.
I was impressed with United. I guess one of the big talking points was Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
He, to me, should have been...
Oh no, he should have been. Personally, I think he should have been off. But I think...
like the two challenges, he put in two challenges.
The first one's a yellow.
First one was definitely yellow. The second one was... The first one was very rash.
Yeah.
It seemed a little bit aggressive.
That was frustrating. I think the whole team were getting frustrated at that point. But the Swansea were getting on top a little bit, not giving the likes of Rashford, Pogba, Mkhitaryan space. So that was probably down to it. Rashford was even getting frustrated. He got booked, I think, for dissent. I think it was dissent.
Alright, okay. Well, I think the second one was just a late tackle, but it was a very late tackle.
Yeah.
I
think that was if that was any other player on the pitch, maybe a Swansea player. I think
if it was a smaller game, like if it was the Byrne West Brom game,
I think he's
gone. Yeah.
The fact that it's Paul Pogba, referee kind of bottled it.
Yeah. That was a big theme this week. Was awful refereeing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Terrible refereeing throughout almost every game. We'll talk a little bit about Manchester United's team. They went for Rashford again, playing left wing. He played well last week against West Ham.
Played well this week. Without because West Ham gave them so much space to expect. This week he got none. Yeah,
he found it. I mean, the whole team found it harder to deal with Swansea this week. But I mean, who would you start? Rashford or Martial? Because Martial's come off the bench now twice and he scored
and had
2 goals. He got an assist against West Ham and he scored against West Ham, and now he scored against Swansea. So it's 2 goals and an assist in about 20 minutes.
I think he should start. The thing is though, I think Mourinho even said that he likes him which I...
He likes who?
Martial.
Right, that's fair.
Which, I was kind of last season...
no one really, he's given Mkhitaryan a chance now who didn't play regularly or
Jones
very well.
As well.
Well, I think that's due to some injury problems. I don't know what the story with Lindelof is.
He was on the bench, but I don't know. I think Real Madrid he didn't really play that well. He didn't even want to play him against Real Madrid, but...
it's going to take Lindelof, as it would any player.
Yeah,
time to settle into the Premier League, settle into, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Yeah, pretty much. They have Champions League. Do they have Champions League?
Man United?
Yeah, they won the Europa League, of course. So, there's always time to break them in the Champions League games and build up a bit of fitness, a bit of confidence. Rashford, to go back to that point, had one very good opportunity in the first half.
Yeah, and he tried to chip.
He tried to chip the keeper and it didn't even go.
And that's at that point I feel like that's probably the only chance we were going to get. At that point, because Swansea were defending really, really well, and we're just going sideways back. They're just holding the ball for possession's sake, really, not really going anywhere. And then half time came, near enough it.
Yeah.
Pogba hits the bar. I don't know who was it who was trying to, because he got, I forget who it was. I'm trying to think. The Swansea player. He was near there. He could have got to the ball first instead of Boy, but he was kind of
I do. Was it Kyle Norton?
I think it might have been. He's trying to block.
He tried to block for the first goal Sam's talking about. Did Fabianski push onto the bar?
Yeah, that was a class save as well.
Yeah, and then the ball bounced, and I think it was Kyle Norton, one of the Swansea players anyway.
Yeah.
got in between Eric Bailly, who's the on-Russian United player, and the ball, and he kind of tried to hold Eric Bailly off so Fabianski could just claim the ball. But I mean, he didn't know where Bailly was. Bailly just ran around the back of him and tapped it in. Yeah, I don't know if that was Kyle Naughton, but definitely it was one of the Swansea players.
I feel like he could have probably got to that and cleared it.
Yeah, even just hoof it away, like you don't need to mess around playing against Man United. But major turning point for Swansea, I guess, is Gylfi's gone.
Yeah, Gylfi's gone.
£50 million to Everton, and
they need to invest that.
They really need to reinvest that, all of it. Any suggestions? Any ideas of even a type of player that they could?
Someone on that sort of mould of his, but like
it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult though to replace your best player.
Yeah, especially a player like Gylfi Sigurdsson. I mean, he played about 20 minutes for Everton.
Yeah,
we'll be talking about that later. But his delivery is sensational.
Yeah, one of the best in the league. Probably.
I'd reckon probably the best.
I think what was it for last season? He got 10, I think, and Llorente got 15. So he scored nearly over half of it. Well, 25 between the two of them.
Yeah.
So 10 goals. Kind of a lot to lose, especially in midfield.
Yeah, especially for a team like Swansea.
Yeah.
He's got the most Premier League goals from direct free kicks.
Jeez.
Since he moved to the Premier League. He's got 7, and in that space of time, I think the likes of Mata and those kind of people have got about 6. But since he's been in the Premier League, he's got the most direct free kick goals. United looked strong. I mean, United looked okay. They. Again, the last 10 minutes showed their class, but I think the character they showed to kind of, not play well and still win 4-0, still, like, that really impressed me. Next game we're going to talk about is the Burnley-West Brom game. Did you see much of it?
I haven't seen much of it.
Well, it wasn't a great game, to be honest. Didn't miss much. Hal Robson-Kanu scored a brilliant goal. He, for me, is a really underrated player.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, he starts for Wales, and Wales are top 15 in the world.
Well, currently,
as we record this. But I mean, he came off the bench for West Brom, scored and got sent off.
Yeah, I heard.
But he's he's really a fringe player at West Brom. Yeah. Now I support Cardiff. I'd love to see him at Cardiff, or even like a championship side of that stature, maybe like a Wolves or a Leeds or someone. I think he could really do a job in the Championship, but I don't know what he's doing with his career, really.
He got released actually before the Euros, and then West Brom picked him up after.
Yeah. He was unemployed when he scored that beautiful goal
against Belgium. What a goal that was!
But he scored another good goal against Burnley. He took the ball away from the defender. He's really good on the ball, and took it away. But then he got sent off about 20 or 10 minutes later.
I heard about that. Yeah,
idiotic red card. Like, for any wrestling fans, right? Shawn Michaels.
Oh, was it like a sort of...
used to do this move where he'd jump at someone and hit them with his forearm, right?
Yeah.
It's basically just what he did.
That's
like,
what he did.
He just... There was no intention for the ball. He just went in, like, put force behind it, swung for the guy and hit him. Straight red card, right decision. Martin Atkinson was the referee for this game. But absolutely idiotic. West Brom held out anyhow for the 1-0. But I just could not believe that red card.
What do you think? How do you feel? I think West Brom will be fine. Probably 11th or something again this year.
Are they? I think they've got it perfect. They've won both their games.
Yeah, they've won both their games.
Yeah, I mean, West Brom are one of those kind of teams that don't. They kind of go under the radar.
Yeah.
But they do quite well.
Yeah, they're just like there.
Yeah, I think Tony Pulis will have them playing decently. They're definitely not going to go down.
No, they won't go down.
I can see.
Pulis is like not relegated. Like you have him as your manager. You won't go down.
I think they could be on the top half of mid-table.
Yeah, top half, high, bottom half.
9th, 10th.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah. Speaking of Burnley, they had 20 shots and 1 on target. Yeah. So the conversion rate's not good, but to, I guess, help that problem, they've now signed Chris Wood. £15 million from Leeds, New Zealand international.
Scored 25 goals last year for Leeds.
He's proved he can score goals for Leeds and in the Championship, but he's never played in the Premier League.
He's played a little bit, I think.
I don't think he's ever actually... I think he's played for Premier League clubs, but he's never actually played a Premier League game.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think he can perform?
Well, like, even before last year, I can't think of him getting at least 10, 15, bar last year, when Gary Monk seemed to get him playing well and getting because, well, I mean, 25 goals speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he was very good for Leeds last year. For those for people who aren't familiar with Chris Wood, he's kind of like a target man.
yeah, just
but
a big target man.
Yeah, but he's not terrible on the ball.
No.
He's kind of like, I guess, Sam Vokes, but a little bit more technical than Sam Vokes, I guess. He fits Burnley's style of play really well.
It's the big lump up the Vokes and Wood.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? They've really changed. I mean, Burnley, since they sold Andre Gray, have kind of changed, or it looks like they've changed their system from going two up front to one. Now they've got John Walters, who they seem to play as a striker when he comes on. Sam Vokes and Chris Wood now, who they spent £15 million on. So who do you think gets the call?
Well, if we're going on goal scorer, well, probably Chris Wood. But if you're going on like experience, you probably put Walters or Vokes up there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're playing that sort of long ball game and you're playing one up front, I don't think Walters would be the person to play. He's strong and he's good at holding it up.
Yeah.
But he's like, what height is he? Like, I don't even think he's 6 foot. Like,
no.
It's not
6 foot maximum. Like, I don't even think he's.
So I don't think like he would be great to just get it from like Kevin Long up to Walters.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna play like that, probably Chris Wood is probably your best option.
A lot of people are tipping Burnley to go down.
Yeah, I've tipped them to go down as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think Chris Wood is a good signing. I think Sean Dyche is a good manager. So I think Burnley will be okay. It'll be interesting to see how they get on in the following games. To move on, the next game was Southampton West Ham.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird one.
Yeah, 3-2.
This is kind of like there's a positive in there, and then they scored twice. Byrne got.
I mean, there's a lot of positives for West Ham. We'll start with them. They lost 3-2. There was two kind of major incidents before any goals, or I'm not sure if it was before any goals were scored, before any West Ham goals were scored. Mark Noble went in for a very hard tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Noble is, that kind of player who's going to put everything on the line to get the ball. Did you see?
It's pretty bad.
I mean, I think it's pretty bad, but I think he wins the ball. I mean, I've looked at it a good few times, and it doesn't look like he goes over the ball intentionally. His studs are kind of showing, but it just kind of looks like he goes for the ball, and when the impact happens, his foot goes over the ball. And I mean, it's not a perfect tackle, People were saying he should have been sent off. I'm not convinced.
I'm not convinced either.
I don't think that was a red card. But then Arnautovic, 100%.
Yeah, I'll stop.
It was Hal Robson Kanu again, but
this is the thing what annoys me about him. Right, when he was at Inter in 20 and Werder Bremen, he thinks he's better than what he actually is. But he is a really good player, and I think you do well for West Ham. But he's got such a bad attitude at times, and it really does let him down.
Oh yeah,
and I let him down there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know what it was. That triggered him off.
Yeah.
People were saying that a couple of minutes before that, Lamina, the Southampton centre mid, had elbowed him.
Juventus actually, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's not bad, but he had gone up for a 50-50 with Arnautovic and hit him, allegedly hit him with his elbow, and that people are saying that could have.
If that happened, probably Arnautovic probably got pissed off.
Yeah, that could have taken him off. But I mean, he ran straight into the side of the guy, like the point of his elbow into his neck. If you watch it in slow motion, your man's he doesn't even know what's going on. Your man's head just really quickly snaps, even in slow motion. It's complete body reaction. So I mean, it was an awful. It wasn't even a tackle. It was just a stupid thing to do. So yeah, big Lee Mason was the referee for this game.
Lee Mason.
And it was a big. He had a lot of decisions to make. I think he got I think for the two red cards, the Noble one, which wasn't a red, and the Arnautovic one, which was. I think he got them butts put on. Then the first penalty that Southampton got. This is after Gabbiadini put them 1-0 up.
Yeah.
It was a good finish. The first penalty, Jose Font just pulled Stephen Dace back.
I saw that.
100% penalty, no question.
Yeah, this is actually, sorry for interrupting. Font, I don't see how going from Southampton to West Ham was a step up.
I mean, I reckon West Ham would have just offered him more money.
Do you think?
Yeah, he's what, 28, 29, 30?
No, he's in his mid-30s, I think.
Mid-30s?
I think he's pretty old. Yeah, he's been around England for a while. Christy, you played for Palace before he went to Southampton.
I think, he's in the decline of his career, but he's still decent. West Ham needed to fill that position, and I reckon they just paid him stupid money. But it was a terrible, like it was, again, not even a tackle. He just put his hand around Stephen Davis's neck and took him down. Tadic converted. And then things got interesting.
Yeah.
With 10 men, West Ham came back.
Show character.
Absolutely,
character.
absolutely. Yeah.
And that's a positive as well, that Hernandez can score twice.
The second goal especially, both of them were real poachers' goals.
Yeah.
But the second one, the ball hit the crossbar and came really quickly towards him, and he still managed to put the ball away with like the outside of his right foot. He's like, I think he could get a lot of goals this season. I think he could get 15-ish goals.
Yeah, if you put the ball in, just put the ball
if he stays fit, and he's not going to be the focal point, but if he's in and around the box, he's always a threat. Like,
it's always dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. West Ham got a claim, I guess, for a penalty. The ball was kind of bubbling around the box, and someone took a shot. And Stevens, is it Dale Stevens?
Yeah.
Last name, yeah, Dale Stevens. The ball was coming towards him, and it looked like he had his hands behind his back, but it looked like he moved his arm out. The ball struck his hand, and the West Ham players were adamant that it was a penalty. I think it was.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think it really looked to me that he moved his arm out. It looked deliberate, but it wasn't given anyhow. And then
was that at 2-2? Was it?
I was at 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was like if they were one goal down, I could see what they're claiming because any way of getting back in the game.
Yeah, well, it was at 2-2 at that point, and then in the last minute of the game, Southampton got their second penalty.
Yeah. Did you see the interview with Charlie Austin?
Oh, Mark Noble. Yeah. Apparently, Mark Noble whispered to Charlie Austin that he said Joe Hart knows where you're going. So then Austin changed his mind and he scored.
And it worked out.
Yeah. Did you see the incident, the foul?
No.
So the ball comes in to Yoshida, who makes connection, right? So he gets his header away, and it's like right in front of the goal. He gets his header away, and it's a terrible miss. It goes wide. It's a bad header, whatever. And Zabaleta's behind him, and as Yoshida goes for the ball, Zabaleta like hits into him. But it's not a penalty because he gets the header away. He made a Hames at the header. Yes, there's contact there. Zabaleta hits into him, but everyone does that. If someone's going up for a header in your box, you're not just going to watch him and wave. You're obviously going to challenge him. I didn't think it was a penalty. He got his shot away.
The ball up, jumping in the air, and then
no. So Yoshida was jumping, and Zabaleta just kind of leaned into him with his shoulder.
Sounds pretty soft.
I mean, it was very soft. Like there was a good bit of contact. Yoshida kind of made the most of it. He went down pretty easily, but his header went. He got the shot away, and once you get the shot away, it's not a penalty. If you're in the box and you're 1-on-1 with the keeper and you shoot and he saves it, and someone comes in and tackles you, that's not a penalty because you've already had the chance.
You're not in possession of the ball.
No, it's like I didn't think it was a penalty. I felt West Ham.
So do you think they were very hard done by?
I thought they were very hard done by, especially with the character they showed. Bring it back from 2-0 down. Yeah. They conceded quite early as well. They conceded about the 10th minute, and they showed really good character to bring it back to 2-2 with 10 men. And then literally the last kick of the game they lost. I thought it was really really hard for West Ham.
Yeah, I think both teams will be all right this year though. Definitely.
Yeah. Where do you see Southampton challenging for Europe?
Possibly. Depends. Depends how other teams are doing. I think.
How would you handle the Van Dijk situation? Because he's come out and he's done something now. I absolutely hate when players do this. I cannot stand it. He's just come out and refused to play.
Yeah, I know.
Like you are on
so much money.
But you are on more money.
Things what we want to do, but that'd be the dream to play football.
Yeah, like there are so many. Like you could go into like Southampton Town Square and see all these kids who look up to you and think, man, we have Virgil van Dijk, we have the best defender in the league, and now you're just saying I'm not going to play for you.
Yeah.
Like, are you? When Payet did it for West Ham as well, like West Ham fans, like I was at a West Ham game, right? Yeah. I went to West Ham Arsenal just like because my stepdad is a West Ham fan. He brought me over just so I could.
They love him. They loved him there.
They thought he was a god.
He was god though that year.
Literally,
best player in the league that year.
It was the year after. It was the last year in Upton Park.
Yeah. It was a good game, but Andy Carroll hat-trick.
Yeah, the last hat-trick in Upton Park. Saw it live. Yeah, against Arsenal. But like they thought even when, at the start of a game where they say, like, oh, number 9, Andy Carroll, and all the fans clap, whatever.
Yeah.
And when number 27,
everyone
Payet,
goes mad,
the stadium almost, did a flip. It was, and then you're saying to these fans that have come up, we love Payet, Dimitri Payet, all these chants and all this, love towards the player, and you're saying, I'm not going to play for you anymore.
Exactly. It's just, I don't really.
It's disgraceful.
It is disgraceful.
I could, if I was manager of Southampton and Van Dijk said, I'm not going to play for you, sell me, I'd say, right, how long's left on your contract? What, 2-3 years?
Just rot him in the reserves.
He would never play for any other team, ever, for those 3 years. He would play for Southampton under 23s, and that's my.
Yeah. Or the under 18s.
Whatever, man.
You've seen the picture of him with the youth team. He's like 10 times the size of all of them. I
have no time for it, like.
See, the thing is though, like Southampton now, they don't like Liverpool anymore now because of the whole tapping up thing.
Yeah,
he wants to go there and he's trying to push him out. I think Southampton are gonna dig their heels and be like, no, you're not going to Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go to Liverpool. I think Arsenal are kind of rumoured as the second choice.
I think it'd be a good choice for.
I think it'd be a good choice for Arsenal more than anything, really.
He's good on the ball and he's pretty physical.
Yeah, I hate players.
I hate players with those.
Saying that they play. Moving on here, the next game was the Leicester-Brighton game. Leicester went 1-0 up after 52 seconds. Mahrez looked like the old Mahrez.
This was absolutely.
He was incredible. He made the first goal. He beat about 2 or 3 players.
So he's playing. He's getting to that level now, so that other clubs are like, okay, he's good.
Yeah, I mean, Roma have put in 3 bids now, and Leicester haven't sold one.
The one thing about Mahrez though, he fluctuates, then influctuates. So he might play well for like a week, then he'll have 4 shit weeks, then have another good week, then 4 shit weeks. So
yeah, I know. I mean, his consistency is the main issue with him, especially last year. He's nowhere to be seen.
But on his day, though, he is a class player.
Oh, absolutely, and this was one of those days. He looked absolutely fantastic. If they do sell him, they might have a bit of an injury worry as well. Jamie Vardy came off the pitch injured in the last minute. I don't think it's very serious. I reckon he'll play the next game. I don't think it's that big a deal, but it looked quite bad during the game. And Harry Maguire. So Okazaki got first after 52 seconds, like I said, and Harry Maguire got second.
I feel like Okazaki is one of Leicester's sort of underrated players.
Tell you what, man, I was playing Fantasy Premier League, right?
Yeah.
Thinking who to put in as my third striker. Okazaki is like the guy who springs to mind. Like, he's gonna get 10-ish goals.
10-ish goals.
10-ish goals.
I don't feel like he's just that he doesn't get the appreciation.
Absolutely not. Like,
he is
absolutely not.
Well, I mean, every player, in my opinion, should be working hard, but like he is the definition of a workhorse. Like.
Absolutely, especially up front where it's like he hounds defenders all game.
The year they won the title, I remember like
he won them the title. Didn't he?
Pretty much. But
he scored the goal mathematically.
Yeah, and he always came on in the last 15, and or when he started a game, he'd come off. And he didn't. He didn't care because he's top of the league. But like, he's one of them players really. You should bring him on last 15. Like, he's got so much energy. You just hound people when they're tired.
Yeah. Harry Maguire looked very good as well.
Harry Maguire looks a class signing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see people tipping him for England.
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah. Especially how England aren't exactly amazing now. But
I mean, who are England's top 4 centre backs now?
Let me think.
Cahill.
Stones, Jagielka.
Yeah, I mean, Stones isn't that difficult to replace. Like,
I know.
The price tag's what gets him into the England side.
Basically.
But I mean, Jagielka's 33,
34,
and then what? That's only 3. So who's the other one? Michael Keane.
Yeah.
Chris Smalling.
Chris Smalling.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could at least get in the squad.
Yeah, at least get in the squad.
Yeah, he looked very good anyhow. It was a great header to get the second, but throughout the game, he actually could play a bit of football. As for Brighton, look, didn't offer anything to the game really.
They are going to.
I think they're going to come last.
You really think so?
I think Chris Hughton isn't cut out for the Premier League, and I don't like saying that because he is
a lovely, lovely, lovely man.
Well, I mean, I was going to say he's an Irish manager.
Yeah, but he's a nice fella.
Sure, we'll go with that. Okay, but I don't think he's cut out for the Premier League anyhow. Last season in the Championship, Glenn Murray and Anthony Knockaert were their top scorers.
But Murray is literally the definition of a championship striker.
Yeah, but why are you not playing him?
Yeah,
even Knockaert, who has a lot to prove in the Premier League. You know, he's been in the Championship for 4 or 5 years now. He was let go from Leicester when they went up.
He went to Belgium for a year. Went to Standard Liège.
And you know, he's got a lot to prove. He's a good player in the Championship, albeit, but I think he could do okay. And he's been on the bench now for 2 games. I think it's very strange. Brighton don't seem to have a creative spark.
Knockaert, but
but he's not playing.
He's not playing. I know.
Like, I wish I had the lineup here, but I think they played. I think they started Murray and they had another like target man. I think it was Hamed up front.
Yeah.
And sorry, I know. There's nothing wrong with this, okay? Yeah. But they're playing 4-4-2 week in, week out.
It's a bit.
Like, come on.
I mean, we're
a bit past that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, people might argue no, but.
No, I mean Leicester played 4-4-2 when they won the league,
but they had an idea, they had a plan.
Yeah, they had a perfect plan really, and I mean, you know, you can't really compare the Leicester season to anything because it's never going to happen again. You know, Brighton aren't going to win the league playing 4-4-2 because even if you look at Huddersfield, that player they have Aaron Moy and this guy Mounier, their striker. They're good players. Yeah. You know, Moy is a very good creative player who can,
because they play Huddersfield play 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
So like Moy is literally like the key to get that ball into the front foot.
He's the heartbeat. Like. Yeah. If you look at Aaron Moy, Brighton's version is Steve Sidwell. Like that's just, it's not good enough for the Premier League. I thought actually when they made a few signings like Matt Ryan and they signed that guy Izquierdo, the winger. I thought, pretty good signings. Ryan looks awful. Like, Ryan looks like a terrible goalkeeper.
I think it was because he came from Valencia and everyone thought, shit, he might be half decent. Because he came from a good club. Well, was a good club. They're not as great now.
A reputable club. Yeah. But I think he did very poor for the Maguire goal. He got a hand to it. He got a hand behind the ball, but still let it in. And the goal last week, the dunk on goal, came straight at him and he just let it through his legs. Like, he seems very dodgy. He seems like a Claudio Bravo-esque kind of player. He just, like, Brighton to me don't have the team to even challenge staying up. They don't look good enough at all. Moving on anyhow to the Bournemouth-Watford game.
This was an interesting one.
This wasn't about a game,
Harry Arter.
Yeah, we'll get to that. One thing I do want to mention is Okaka played very well against Liverpool last week for Watford, and Andre Gray just took his place. Now, fair enough, you spend almost 20 million on Andre Gray, but it must be a big hit to Okaka's confidence to score a goal against Liverpool, to play really well. He was always a danger against Liverpool when he played, and when he got taken off, I was very surprised, you know, especially because Watford needed a goal. But he was on the bench for this game. Gray started. Now, to be fair to Gray, he had a good game. On the Bournemouth side of things, Defoe was on the bench again. They played Afobe and King up front again.
I want to know how much Defoe's on, because I mean, if you're paying him 80-90 grand, probably a little bit more, you probably should play him.
Yeah. The other thing is, I feel bad for Defoe because he had a good season last year. Last 2 seasons, he played very well. Okay.
Scoring goals on a sinking ship, basically.
Absolutely, he was the only silver lining to Sunderland, really. But it's a World Cup year, and he did really well. It was kind of like an underdog story that he got back into the England side, whatever, and he's going to want to go to the World Cup, and I can't imagine that he's going to be happy sitting on the bench watching Benik Afobe play, especially because Benik Afobe didn't play very well.
And I don't think, has he even had a good game since he's joined Bournemouth?
Afobe, I think he might have had 2. Yeah. At the very start, I think he scored in his Bournemouth debut.
I'm trying to think about Afobe. When he was at Arsenal, he went on loan a lot of times, was shit. Then went to MK Dons, and him and Will Grigg in League One linked up really, really well. And then he went to Wolves and did really, really, really well.
Well, he did very well there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're bringing in a striker like Defoe, why are you putting him on the bench? Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
He guarantees goals.
What you talked about earlier, the Harry Arter call. Do you want to talk us through that, Sam?
I've done this a few times before, so I got away with it a few times, being pulled up for it once or twice. But basically, the ball was coming towards Chalobah. He's about to shoot.
It's a decent chance. Like, it's a pretty good chance.
It's a pretty good chance. Harry Arter shouts, "Leave it," and he leaves it, and Bournemouth go on the attack.
Yeah, it looked amazing to watch the game. Like, he's lining up the shot and he just lets it go, and there's no one behind him. Harry Arter just walks away with the ball. Chalobah was furious because
it is a foul.
It should have been called as a foul.
Yeah.
Roger East was the referee for this game, who didn't call that. It should have been a foul. Feel bad for Chalobah really, but Watford still ended up winning 2-0.
Yeah, didn't he score as well? No, he didn't score. No, I'm thinking.
Richarlison, the new.
No, he looked actually alright.
He looked good this game. Yeah, it was a scrappy goal in the end, but it was. He did well to get it in the end, and then Capoue
rejects.
He was very close to moving to Cardiff when we were in the Premier League, but he didn't.
He's a good player. He's been a good player for them.
Last season he was very good at the start of the season, and this season he scored an absolutely brilliant goal. Watford are looking very good.
Yeah, Watford are looking. Marco Silva's got them. He's a good manager.
Yeah, so he is. Yeah, like, he did well at Hull. He was unlucky to go down.
With 15 players basically.
Yeah, and I think he's going to do well at Watford. I was trying to plan out like a mock Premier League, like a predictions thing, and I have Watford finishing quite high. I have Watford finishing above Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are probably going to be lower mid-table. Watford will be higher mid-table.
We'll go with that. Yeah,
that's fair.
I think Silva as well. Like you see, like a lot of managers come in, they play like the 4-2-3-1. He seems to know what he's doing with it. Like, especially watching a Hull, they get them all to sort of high press and centre mids, pushing up as well, marking two people. It looks really good, and he knows teams what he's doing. Because remember, what was it, Paul Merson? When he got the Hulls with Paul Merson's like, why is he getting the job? Why don't you give an English manager the job?
Well, I mean, Paul Merson isn't exactly an amazing punter.
But they're all like that. They're all like, why are they not giving an English manager the job?
Yeah.
Because and they're all like, oh, he went unbeaten for like ages at Olympiacos. It's like, that's Olympiacos. Well, I mean, in the Greek league. But he proved them all wrong, I think.
Absolutely, I think
he beat Liverpool. They beat Man United, even though they went out in the cup. But he beat some good sides. And I mean, like, I was thinking of, like, if he managed to get them to stay up, it would have been unbelievable.
Absolutely.
But like, just wasn't to be.
It was too late, really, for him. Like, it was too little, too late, kind of thing. Moving on to one of the big games this weekend was Liverpool versus Palace. Now, I have major issues with this game, particularly Crystal Palace.
What do you think?
And Frank de Boer.
Yeah,
I'll talk you through the game before we get into Before we get into a little bit of a rant about De Boer, I'll talk you through the game. Robertson played his first game for Liverpool. Thank God, Moreno. He actually changed a load of the defenders. I think he changed.
Everyone was saying the defence actually looked alright for once.
Well, it looked okay, but I mean, Crystal Palace didn't really challenge. So they went with I can't remember the right back now.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
No, they took him out.
Tanya Klein.
Joe Gomez.
Seriously, they played him?
Yeah, they played him right back.
He came off a massive injury layoff. So
they played Joe Gomez right back. They had Clavin and I think it was Matip. Might have been Lovren. No, I think it was Matip.
Yeah, I think Clavin's just been like kind of, I sign you, go now.
He's the Finland captain, Ragnar Clavin.
For Estonia, I thought.
Oh, sorry, he's the Estonia captain. Yeah, like fair enough, Estonia, but he seemed okay to this game. And then they played Robertson out on the left, who played really, really well.
Yeah, I heard he played really, really well.
They had this thing going, so they were playing a 4-3-3, and on the left of the midfield, James Milner played. So they had Chan, Henderson, and Milner. Milner was on the left side. So Robertson was playing like a left wing back kind of thing, or an attacking left back, should I say? Yeah. He was putting crosses in, whatever, and Milner was doing the defensive duties. And then when Milner was on the ball, Robertson was doing the defensive duties. Milner would go out wide, and it was as if they were kind of playing two left backs. Yeah. They'd always change positions. I thought it was really creative, really good. Robertson played fantastic all game. Another player I was quite impressed with on the Liverpool side of things was Solanke.
Yeah, he's a big talent.
A lot of Chelsea fans are really annoyed.
Yeah, apparently I heard he wanted like 20-30 grand a week, and Chelsea are like, no.
I don't get that. He came off the bench anyhow, and he played quite well. He kind of, I don't know if it'll go down as an assist, but he forced the error that led to the Mane goal. Talking points from Liverpool, apart from the changes they made, was Salah didn't start. What do you make of that?
That's a bit maybe saving him for Wednesday.
Oh, against Hoffenheim. I mean,
they were really that tie isn't finished at all. Hoffenheim, for them to score twice will be unbelievable, but I think they know they're in a game. They know Hoffenheim could have easily drawn that game, the first leg, because they played really, really well first half.
I didn't see the game, to be perfectly honest.
No, Hoffenheim first half were impressive.
Okay.
That penalty they scored that, I personally think is a different game. They might get a draw out of it, but I mean they got it to 2. I think second half they kind of died down, the whole Hoffenheim thing, like their pressure and stuff died down, and Liverpool started to get their rhythm going, started making a few chances, and what was it? Firmino missed a sitter. It was a sitter. It was a big chance. Then Hoffenheim got a goal back, and then
what was the score? 2-1.
2-1 Liverpool.
Okay, away. Right. Does that matter at this stage?
Away goals.
Okay, cool.
But they missed. I think it was in the 94th. The ball came in, and then free header puts it over. Should have been 2-2. Hoffenheim should have been 2-2.
Okay. That was the reason that a lot of the commentators gave for the big change in defence. Was they took out Alexander-Arnold. Apparently he scored a free kick.
Yeah, he scored a good free kick. Yeah.
They took him out. He wasn't even involved. He wasn't even on the bench. He was up in the stands. But they took him out because of that game, and he's only 18. He can't be playing every game, whatever. Before we go on to Palace, just wrap up with Liverpool. Coutinho doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
He's had this back strain problem, or whatever it is. Back strain in inverted quotes. But he's due back this week. He's due back for the Arsenal game.
I heard someone told me Klopp told the board to get him, just get rid of him. But the board are like, well, I mean, we don't want to lose him. So I think Klopp feels.
I think they're running out of time.
Yeah.
If they're gonna sell him for whatever it is, 100 and whatever million, 120 I think was their last bid. That's a lot of money. They only sold Suarez for 70 million. I think if this came early summer and they'd sold him and they'd time to rebuild, because I don't think he's irreplaceable.
No.
I don't really think he's Barcelona quality.
Yeah, Barcelona levels. I don't think that way.
But I think he could be replaced if they do sell him. But it looks like he isn't going to
If you sell him now, because every club in the world like if you go to
absolutely,
they'll be like, here, give us 20 million.
Like I was saying last week with Swansea buying players, now that they've got the 50 million from Gylfi, if I'm a manager dealing with Swansea, I'm going to add like 5 million onto the price tag. But if I'm a manager dealing with Liverpool, after Liverpool have just sold Coutinho, I'm going to add 10, 15. Especially if it's a top player, like if they go in for, I don't know, Royce or someone, you easily get 80, 90 million out of him, just bump the price right up, Moving on to Palace.
Yeah, Frank de Boer.
Oh, Jesus. It's 2 games in, right? Yeah. They had a solid defensive display for most of the game. They looked all right. But Frank de Boer must be the most naive manager I've ever seen.
Definitely. His managerial reputation came at Holland, right, with Ajax. And everyone would be like, oh, it's Ajax, the best team. But, he did quite well. Yeah. He won a couple of leagues.
To be fair, they Ajax haven't been winning the league consistently. PSV have won it, I think, twice in the last 5 years.
Feyenoord won it this year.
Feyenoord won it, yeah.
So they're not. It's not exactly like it's a one.
So it's not a one-horse race.
So he's done all right. He's done all right in a decent league.
He won 4 Eredivisie.
Yes, won 4.
Right, in what, 5, 6?
Yeah, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, okay. So, solid display.
Yeah. Then he went to Inter Milan,
which was a shit show.
Then I think his naivety in that. He bought João Mario and Kondogbia, who's now gone on to Valencia. Kondogbia.
Was it? I thought it was Sevilla.
What?
I thought it was Sevilla.
No, because he's gone to Valencia. But he bought good players and thinking, okay, Inter might have a chance of getting Europe again.
No, I'm not 100% on his time at Inter. It only lasted 88 days.
Yeah.
So enlighten me here.
Yeah.
What exactly was it? Bad performances?
Bad performances, yeah.
So he just did really bad with Inter.
Really bad. But people are saying the players didn't help them because the attitudes are pretty bad.
Yeah, I heard about the attitude issue at Inter.
But
right. People are okay. I'm gonna say that you can't just walk into a team like Palace. Aren't a team that are going to play attractive, nice, flowing, total football.
You've got two players there you need to build the team around. Zaha, Benteke.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, look, for a lower team, for a lower league, or not lower league, a lower tabled team, to play that really nice flowing football or whatever, it's going to take time. And people are going to point the finger at Huddersfield and say, oh, but they walked into the Premier League and they've been playing this nice football. Wagner's been there 3 years.
Yeah, Wagner was there like when they were down in the dumps.
Yeah.
So it took him a while to get that. They finished 16th in that, but he took over halfway through. But they barely scraped relegate past relegation.
Yeah, Wagner didn't walk in there and just flick a switch and they all started playing. Like, he brought in players like Aaron Moy.
Bring in players, which people are thinking, why are you bringing players from the third tier of German football? But they work because he knows how to use the market.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows what kind of players he wants, and he brings them in, and he plays the style of football that he wants. He knows that. No one would have heard of Aaron Moy before Huddersfield, right?
He got released by Bolton 7 years ago.
Did he? I thought he played for City.
No, he was at Bolton first when he was as a youngster.
Really?
Got released. Went to St Mirren in Scotland. Then went back to Australia with the City team.
Oh, Melbourne.
Yeah. And then he got the City.
Okay, right.
I personally think about Moy, I know we're not even on the game. I personally think he could have been a part of that squad, just as like a squad sort of player.
Which squad?
City. I think
we'll get on to it in a minute.
I think he's a really good player.
But Huddersfield didn't just turn into this attractive, flowing team in one. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. But De Boer is so adamant that he's going to play this fucking Christmas tree formation. Like, he's playing 3-5-2-1, right? I think he played a 3. I think he played one behind Benteke. No, he did. He played Punchin and Townsend behind Benteke this game, right? You don't have the players to play the style of football that you want, all right? You cannot tell me that you're going to play possession football with Christian fucking Benteke up front, all right? Like, look at the team, okay? He played Scott Dan, not the kind of defender you need
to play from
no, absolutely not. Joel Ward, wing back, right? He's not going to be passing the football around. He's going to be bombing down the wing. Same with Van Aanholt, not a possession player, right? Andros Townsend is probably the most, possession-orientated player in the Crystal Palace side, and that's not even his game.
Yeah.
He's a winger. Right? Jason Punchin, no, he's barely a Premier League player, all right? And then there's Christian Benteke, who is your main man, who you spent £32 million on, and you're trying to play possession football with a target man.
Benteke can't use his feet.
No, like the game, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's so adamant that he's going to play this possession play, whatever, blah blah, and throughout the game he gave about 15 minutes at the end, right? Where he had to throw the kitchen sink, try and get a result. He stuck Scott down up front, right? Yeah, and there was this one chance where they appealed for penalty. That's a different game. Where Loftus-Cheek rounded his man, and he played the ball in to Christian Benteke, who had a brilliant chance. And it was one of the only times they went direct.
And it worked.
Yeah, he missed it, but he should have scored. But if they've been doing that the whole game and they gave him 2 or 3 chances...
Liverpool were pretty poor in the first half. They were poor.
Yeah, they weren't great. The other chance they had was on a counter-attack. Instead of, playing this possession of football, whatever, they just played quickly. I think it was just Townsend and Punchin and maybe Benteke. They were the only 3 players that attacked Liverpool. Punchin got the shot away. It was saved by Mignolet, whatever. But he's so adamant of this style of play that, he's not just going to lump it up to Benteke and he's going to pass it about and he's going to do all this thing. You are playing Liverpool, who historically, and in the last game they played a week ago, have shown they're awful at defending set pieces. They can't defend corners, right? So I'm looking at the game, first quarter of the match, I'm thinking, right, Andros Townsend's going to whip this ball in, Christian Benteke is going to get his head on it. What does he do, Sam? Plays it short. Are you messing?
Oh.
Are you messing? Like, how are you that stupid? Christian Benteke will win a header against any defender in the league, especially Liverpool defenders, and he plays a short corner to try and mess around with the ball. Fuck off! Like, if De Boer plays this way and he doesn't cop on quick,
they're going to go down.
they will come last. It'll be a toss-up between them and Brighton. De Boer, he has to change or go.
I think though, like, my sort of, they brought him to thinking, shit, De Boer, he's played for Barcelona and he's played for Ajax and he's played for Holland. They're like, alright, get him in. But he's a big name because his playing career was so good. Then look at the last job in Italy when it went to absolute shit and he spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of like, he's like your modern manager. He's so stubborn. Like, this is my way.
He just seems unbelievable.
My way or the highway.
Well, mate, like he'll be taking the highway sometime soon, pal. Honestly, it amazed me the way that Palace played.
Yeah.
Fair enough, they were defensively strong. Well, stronger than last week, which isn't
One
difficult.
thing though, I don't like Fosu Mensah centre back.
Yeah.
I think you should be playing in the middle, but that's just my opinion.
I think when your defence is so bad, they kind of need him to.
But I can see why you put him in that. Yeah, I can see why you put him in that back three though, because he's probably the only one who can pass the ball. Yeah.
Who's there? Oh, Riedwald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can pass the ball as well. So.
I mean, yeah, but he hasn't looked very good defensively. He looks like another John Stones. Yeah. Liverpool won the game 1-0. De Boer has to change. You can't play possession football with the Sam Allardyce team. You know, fair enough, in like 3 years, make it into the team you want, but right now you don't have the team you want, so stop acting like you've the team you want.
I feel like he's trying to bring back total Dutch football from the 70s or something.
Absolutely. If you look at it, the way he plays, and all these players are interchanging, it's not going to work with Palace. It's not going to work with Palace. You have to exploit Christian Benteke and Zaha when he's fit, and when he's not, Andros Townsend. You just can't be doing what De Boer is doing. And fair enough, they only lost 1-0, but Liverpool were very poor this week. Moving on to the next game, and I've got another rant coming. It was Stoke Arsenal.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I think, the first half, Arsenal played some very nice stuff, alright?
No, to be fair to Arsenal, I'm going to cut you off. They did create a lot of chances.
Yeah. Some of the positions, though, better in a left wing.
Wow, man.
Why?
Wow. Honestly, man.
Like,
the thing about Arsenal is they created a lot of chances, right? But they just didn't have, I don't know, they went 1-0 down, and it's almost like they didn't have any urgency about them until the last 10 minutes. Like, if you look at the team, right, out of their 11, who's their captain for that game?
Who was it? I can't even think.
Like, who do you think could be a captain?
Czech
was a captain.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me that when you're chasing a game 1-0, your goalkeeper's going to fucking push the team? Like, they had Bellerin playing on the left, Chamberlain playing on the right, Mustafi, Kolasinac and Monreal in the middle. To me, they've got, fair enough, Czech's your keeper, whatever, probably because he's the most experienced. Monreal, maybe, captain. Mustafi, very unlikely.
No.
Then they've got, they played Ramsey and Xhaka. There's not a chance I'd be giving an armband to Xhaka, and there's barely a chance I'd be giving it to Ramsey. Then they've got Ozil and Welbeck. I wouldn't be giving the armband to Ozil, especially the way he's playing now.
Yeah.
He barely was on the pitch, and Lacazette, who's been there for 2 games.
I feel like
they've got no leaders in that team.
Yeah. No, they don't. I think if you had Tony Adams or a Vieira in there, I think half of that squad would be gone by now.
Be gone?
Yeah, I think they'd be gone. I think they just wouldn't be there because some of the attitudes and just how the way we're 1-0 down. Oh well, same old. And this always happens to Stoke. Bar last year because Stoke were we couldn't give a shit because we were already staying up. Always happens to Stoke. They just seem to shit themselves. Right, we're playing against absolute lumps and they're going to break us up. That was an old Arsenal team.
The thing is, Arsenal have changed so much since the time of Tony Adams and Patrick Vieira. Back in the day, Arsenal were the Invincibles, and they They didn't take shit from anybody.
There's no player over, like, especially in the middle, there's no player who's massive,
No.
and you're thinking, oh fuck, I don't want to get smashed into him. Like,
They've been linked with Steven Nzonzi, who has played very well
for Sevilla
since moving from Stoke.
Yeah.
But again, he doesn't strike me as
a big, imposing.
like
centre.
literally. They need Vieira.
Yeah.
They need Vieira back. They need like the closest thing they can find to Patrick
The closest
Vieira.
thing they had was Abu Dhabi, and except his legs were just like.
Yeah, I mean his legs are made of glass. Talk about the game a bit. Hesse, his Premier League debut. That another thing. All right. Well, we've already stopped talking about the game, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hesse, first Premier League game. He must be walking into the Premier League going, "Jesus, all this easy."
Yeah.
Arsenal are what, top 4 every year apart from last year, and I've just walked through their defence.
Yeah, they were so stacked for that goal.
They were like Monreal only realised Hesse ran past them about 2 minutes after he ran past them. Like they were, it was terrible defending. Stoke played okay, pretty counter-attacking team. Arsenal had the ball in the net.
Yeah.
Did you see the Lacazette goal?
It was a class finish, unbelievable finish.
But
Just.
would you have given it as offside?
No, he's just about on.
But that's the thing. People are saying he's onside, whatever. Like his body's onside and his leg isn't. It's the definition of a brilliant call.
Yeah.
Like his foot's offside, and I've looked into the offside rule. It's any part of your body that can play the ball. So that is anything by your arms, basically, right? His like lower calf is offside, and he goes and scores. It's an incredible call. Like it's the correct call. He's offside.
You think?
He's offside. Puts the ball in the net. Like his foot's offside. Be it margins.
Yeah.
But like people are saying, oh, he's barely offside. So
he's still offside.
He's still offside, and that linesman should get a pay rise. Like in a week where we've seen unbelievably bad decisions, that linesman has just like that on its own has almost dug out the referees association.
I think though, because everyone's saying like it's a bad decision, it's for the fact that was literally probably their only chance. That's like
it was not.
Oh, sorry, Giroud as well.
Giroud at the end had a good chance. It was people are saying it was a golden opportunity. It was a silver opportunity at best. Like it was a difficult chance to take. But Welbeck had a lot of chances.
Oh yeah, Welbeck. I'm just losing my memory here. Welbeck, yeah, that's the thing. Though, this is with Welbeck, right? And I put it out on Twitter, and Artem's like, "Who are you on about?" I'm like,
Artem is one of our friends.
Yeah, Artem's one of our friends, by the way.
Yeah. If Real Sport are listening, he's also looking to write for Real Sport, as am I. There you go. Bit of a shout out.
But like he does everything right to get in that position. He probably should have squared it to Ramsey.
Yeah.
But like
Ramsey had another good chance that he should have scored as well.
If he can shoot, he'd actually be like one of the up there with some of the better players in the league.
Yeah.
But like he just can't.
As of now, though, do you think Welbeck's good enough for Arsenal?
No. Not. Mate, if you're playing him out on
give me a team that Welbeck is at the level
something like a Spurs or something. No, not Spurs. What am I on about? Like Everton or something like that.
Yeah, Everton,
Southampton. Sort of level. Yeah. United got 16 million for him.
That's amazing. Yeah. He did play well for Arsenal for the first year, but his injuries have
probably fucked them up a bit. But like
the main thing, like you mentioned before, was the tactics by Wenger.
Yeah.
What's he doing, man?
Kolasinac is a left wing back. Play him left wing back. You bought him there to play left wing back.
But you
didn't buy him. You got him on a free. But
Xhaka, first of all, I called this last week, played very bad last week, but I kind of let him away with it because he got the 2 assists in the end. Yeah. Oh my God, he was dreadful against Stoke.
If I was a manager looking at that goal they scored, he let Hesse run past him.
Literally.
He didn't run for him. He didn't track him.
They need to get Xhaka out of that team. He is poison. 30 million for Granit Xhaka. I would have torn your arm off if I was Mönchengladbach.
The thing is, though, with him, right? I know this is probably him and Alonso kind of similar. They play the same sort of deep line role. They're both slow, right? Yeah. The thing with Alonso, before he's about to get the ball,
Alonso is a lot smarter.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Every time before the ball, he gets the ball. He knows where he's going to put it. Every time Xhaka gets it, he has to do the big, turn around, find the pass. It's too slow. It's just
He seems like he doesn't know what he is.
Yeah.
Like he is a deep line player, like you said, but he's almost more defensive than Alonso was. Like he puts in these tackles, like awful challenges. He can't tackle. He can't string a pass together. And then there's just like they bought him for 30 million because of the moments like last week where he put Ramsey through and assisted that goal. It was a brilliant pass. But like, he might do that 5 times a season and get sent off 3 and give the ball away about 40 by the time
no
people
one knew
looking
what
at
he was
this.
like though when he came. Everyone's like, well, he gets sent off a bit, but he has a moment where he can play a Hollywood pass out to the left.
He's not good. Like he would be, if I was Wenger, he'd be the first person to leave.
Yeah.
I would not be having Granit Xhaka in my team. Looking at their formation, where does Alexis fit in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he doesn't. Are you like, when he comes back, do you play him
Up front.
Do you play him up front instead of Lacazette? Do you play him beside Ozil behind Lacazette?
Yeah.
Do you play him left wing back?
That'd be a waste.
That would be the biggest waste. But I mean, there's nowhere in that like it's the same situation as City.
Yeah.
They don't really, or it doesn't make sense to play this 3 at the back with wing backs, this 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. Like, it just seems like everyone's copying Conte.
Yeah, I know that's the trend now in football. Well, in England anyway.
But like, why, man?
You need the players. Like,
who are Arsenal's left backs?
Well,
Monreal and Kolasinac, who are playing centre back. They had Mertesacker
on the bench.
Fair enough, Holding didn't have a good game. He dropped him completely.
He
like,
didn't put him in the squad.
Are you messing? You're running short of centre backs, and one of the only centre backs that you have, you drop him completely. Like. They could have played Bellerin on the right, Mustafi, Mertesacker, Holding, and then Kolasinac on the left. That's a much more solid defence than Oxlade-Chamberlain, Kolasinac, Mustafi, Monreal, and Bellerin on the left. Like, to be fair to Oxlade-Chamberlain, he did actually play quite well, but to me, even though he came through the academy he's come up through his career, should I say, as a wide player, he's much better in the middle.
You think? His pace and his energy probably gives a lot. The one thing about him playing the centre, he needs to improve his passing.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already better than Xhaka.
Yeah.
I'm better than Xhaka. I'd take Xhaka out. I'd play Oxlade-Chamberlain and Ramsey.
Like the pace and the energy, I'd put it out. Pace and the energy of Chamberlain would just put a lot more into that middle compared to Xhaka.
Do you think he should leave? There's been talks of him going to Chelsea.
This is the thing. He's only had
especially if Nzonzi comes in, because if they buy Nzonzi and they're only playing 2 centre mids, do you really put Chamberlain in instead of Ramsey?
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't.
See, this is the thing is though, people are saying this is only off the back of a couple of good months. So this is off the back of a couple of good performances. So playing him in the centre, when they played him in the middle of the 4-3-1, it's got the best out of him.
Absolutely.
So why don't you, what game was it? I think it was they were playing Liverpool the next week. So they played I don't know who they played, but he played really, really well in the centre.
He stuck him out right wing.
Yeah,
I remember
just put him right wing.
They
dropped the Electors as well for that game, so I was just like mind blown.
I don't know what Wenger's doing. Like we said, playing Bellerin on the left, not playing playing one known centre back in a back 3, who by the way looked awful.
Who did?
Mustafi.
Yeah.
He was a World Cup winner.
What I mean.
Like, he played dreadful.
Yeah.
The only player for me who played well for Arsenal was Oxlade-Chamberlain. Ozil needs there's so much wrong with Arsenal, man. Like, honestly, I feel like this year will be the biggest year for Arsenal fan TV in their history, because they are going to have so much to complain about.
Yeah, definitely.
It's literally, and I'm going to take one of their lines here. Yeah. It's same old Arsenal. Yeah. Like, this week has shown me just how much last week was a fluke. Like, they
papering over the cracks.
Absolutely papering over the cracks. Like, they conceded 3 against Leicester. Soft goals, and people are kind of pushing it aside because they won. And there's actually a guy on Arsenal Fan TV, DT,
Yeah.
who he was the only one who wasn't really that positive, saying no, and he saw through it.
Yeah.
Fair play to him, because he's completely right.
He's been like that ever since he's got on the channel.
I mean, yeah, look, they're all. I'm not saying Arsenal Fan TV aren't world beaters of pundits, but I'm just saying he got it spot on, and I'm really starting to see that now. Like, they played bad against Leicester.
Yeah.
They got lucky at the end because they had a lot of drive when Giroud came on. When Giroud came on in this game, he still had Bellerin out on the left.
Yeah, I know.
Bellerin's right foot.
They took off Kolasinac for Giroud, didn't they?
I think so.
So,
yeah.
Why?
Honestly, like
Bellerin, no, but all second half, even some on Arsenal Fan TV, Butland's just like kick it towards Bellerin because he hasn't got a clue.
He didn't have a clue. Like, it was awful.
Yeah.
I don't like. Just because you can play right back doesn't mean you can play left back.
Exactly.
Do you know?
It's not Sunday League. It's a professional football club.
Yeah, Bellerin's probably near $100,000 a week.
He's been shite though ever since Barcelona. There's been rumours in the papers about him going to Barcelona.
He won't be going to Barcelona playing like that.
No, definitely not.
No.
There's one thing as well I've got to say. Wenger and Arsenal in general, they haven't been winning things, but they're so arrogant. That whole club think we're Arsenal, we can batter
But they're so bad.
Ozil is the definition, one of them players who thinks, well, I play for Arsenal, I can pass the ball. They're just all so arrogant. Well, not all of them are arrogant, just Wenger and some of the club, they just think we're like a huge club in this country, we can beat anyone.
I have not seen Ozil play I haven't seen him being involved in the past two games.
People in his home country say that he's overrated, so it must be
Really?
something. Yeah, people say in Germany.
Does he play for the German national
Yeah.
side? Does he break into that team?
Yeah, he gets on that team. I think.
But if you look at the Arsenal team that he put out, so there was Cech, Chamberlain on the right, Mustafi, Kolasinac, Monreal,
Yeah.
Bellerin on the left, Ramsey, Xhaka, Ozil, Welbeck, Lacazette, right? Like I said, that there's really no character there.
Yeah.
There's no one in that team. There's no Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
There's
no Vieira.
There's no Vieira.
Bergkamp.
No, there's no Bergkamp. There's no Tony Adams. There's no Pires. There's no one on that team that is going to drive you forward. Like, Lacazette has energy. That doesn't mean he has character. Like, Ramsey is the same. He has energy. He doesn't really have character. He's not going to turn around to Xhaka and say, "What are you doing?" It just feels like Arsenal are complacent.
Yeah,
like,
they're
happy.
so complacent.
They're happy with what they're earning now, and they don't really care.
Like, I feel like though at times when they turn up to like smaller teams, like we just need to turn up and we'll win. It doesn't work like that in this league.
No, not at all.
And it's same with Wenger as well in press conferences and stuff. He just comes across like so like complacent, arrogant, and it's backfired for the last. Like, they haven't won really a proper trophy. They haven't won the league since 2004.
No, like, honestly, I can see this being another. We won the FA Cup, so we're okay.
Yeah, we're okay season. Exactly.
You told me the other day that Wenger signed a 2-year contract at the end of last season.
At the end of last season.
So he has this year and next year.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying, you can't be wishing Wenger out.
In a way, though, it's so selfish by him. Just let go of the club.
Oh,
let someone else get in and put fresh ideas in.
But people are saying, like, you can't say Wenger out because Wenger's stable.
Yeah.
Like, if you bring the right coach in,
you'd be fine.
Absolutely, like. If United had got Mourinho straight away after Ferguson,
that squad is shit though. Let's be honest.
Well, Mourinho
could have done something.
They're not better than David Moyes, But like, those talks of him leaving, and people are saying who's going to replace him. Ancelotti didn't have a job at that time.
Yeah.
Who's the ex-Sevilla guy? Emery didn't have a job at that time. Fair enough. Emery isn't a Premier League manager, but like, I just feel like Arsene Wenger is the poison of Arsenal. I feel like they're not going to win.
He just doesn't want to let go. It's like, I've made this club.
They can't win a big trophy with Wenger.
Anymore.
No,
his tactics are so outdated.
And they've been playing the same football for 12 years.
Well, since '96, really, But the thing is, though, remember everyone was like, change. Like, no, I'm sticking with 4-2-3-1. And then it got so bad. It got so bad at Palace. The fans were literally. It was an ebb because I remember the ball went on. It was coming on towards their side in the second half. So the ball came out for Tron. The abuse thrown at Hector Bellerin was like, shit, I better change something here. So he's like, what do? I'll do what every other club's done in the top 7, top 6, changing his 3 at the back.
It's just, honestly, like, it feels like everyone's looking at Chelsea and going, 3 at the back wins the league, let's play 3 at the back. Absolutely. You don't just go in and say, I'm going to play this formation now, fit to this formation.
Marcus Alonso, but like, everyone's like, why will you sign him?
Brilliant
signing, because he fucking suits the position.
Because he's the perfect player for that position. Like, you can't go in and say, I'm going to play 3 at the back, I'm going to play wing backs. I don't really have a left wing back, so I'll sign Kolasinac and play him centre back, and then stick Bellerin in the left. That doesn't make sense. Like, when Alexis comes back, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't fit in that team.
Yeah.
He doesn't. You have to change the team. You have to change the formation to fit your team before you can change the team to fit your formation. Pep had to do it.
Yeah.
Pep couldn't play the formation he wanted when he got to City because he didn't have the players that he wanted, and he knew that. And respect to Pep, I don't think he's an amazing manager.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he's an overrated manager, but he understood that, and Wenger just doesn't.
Oh.
Anyway, Stoke beat them 1-0. A bit of a smash and grab. Stoke, yeah. Big ups to that linesman, he got the call right. And Wenger got it wrong.
Again.
And
Stoke just...
like I said, look out for Arsenal Fan TV, because this year is going to be one of their best years.
Especially playing them sort of teams. Arsenal just need to man up. Take the tackle.
Oh, absolutely. I think a lot of Premier League...
Do you see Joe Allen, actually? Sorry to interrupt you. Joe Allen, I think it was near the end of the game. I think it was better when he was up against. He absolutely just flew past them.
Joe Allen mugged off Xhaka the whole game, and whoever he came up against, he just had confidence against.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these Premier League players are like, they're fannies.
Yeah.
Like, they go down way too easily. They're like, oh, I'm not going to go 100% into that, John, and get injured.
Yeah.
But like, Arsenal embody that.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the change that they've gone through from having Henry, Vieira, Adams, Perez, Bergkamp, all these players who just didn't take crap.
Yeah. To now.
To Granit Xhaka and Hector Bellerin, who like...
Or Denilson and Bentner before then, or Nasri before then.
Or Shamak.
Yeah.
Like...
Or Shavin.
I think it has to be probably the second fastest decline in English football behind Man United.
He got rid of that title winning team in 18 months. Seriously. He just said, Perez, you're gone. Well, Henry, he wanted to keep for the young, because he was trying to build a young team because of the Emirates. Denilson can fuck off anyway. Vieira.
Denilson won the European Golden Boy, didn't he?
Yeah. Vieira gone. Maybe Vieira wanted to leave. Gilberto Silva gone. He just was like, let them all go. He didn't want them to tie them down. No. They were still a good,
still a good sign.
Yeah.
It just feels like he tried to change things.
And then he tried to get all these young players in. Too small, to be honest with you, if you want to win the league. Because if you look at that Arsenal team, they're all over 6'1", 6'2". They're huge.
Yeah.
Big physical presence. Yeah. You don't want to go near them.
Yeah.
If you look at them when they used to play Man United, Roy Keane,
Vieira was that was a huge player-on-player rivalry.
Yeah.
But if you look at United playing Arsenal now, they've got Pogba versus Ramsey. Is it?
Herrera versus Xhaka. I mean,
that's not. United will walk through Arsenal.
They're so good. Because they're just too tall and too physical.
Moving on from Arsenal and the awful match that was Huddersfield Newcastle.
This was a fairly
our friend Craig Pawson struck again. Yeah. The referee from the Chelsea game last week was the referee.
Just decided to be centre of attention.
Yeah, he was the most inconsistent ref.
Yeah.
He didn't make any woeful calls, but he was just very inconsistent.
Yeah.
To be fair to the Liverpool and the Arsenal or the Stoke games, should I say? Kevin Friend refereed the Liverpool Palace game, did an alright job. Andre Marner refereed the Stoke Arsenal game, did pretty well. That assistant, I don't know what his name was. The John Moss is the ref of the United game. He messed up. And Lee Mason was the ref for the West Ham game. It just seemed like referees had an awful week this week.
They seriously need help. I think referees in general need help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They need some kind of automation, to tell them. If there's things out there like the goal line technology system, which is implemented in the Championship now.
Yeah.
Like Nottingham Forest, I think it was this weekend. I actually didn't even think it was a goal. Someone headed the ball down and it was cleared straight off the line. And I thought, it was nothing, it's fine. And even most of the players kept playing on, but the referee got the thing on his watch saying it was goal, and it was over the line.
Then you've got VAR in the Bundesliga and Serie A, even though it takes a few minutes to get the decision.
Which one? What is that essentially?
It's like
is that TMO?
Yeah, that's basically TMO.
Right. I think they need it. If you look at rugby is a slower game than football. It's not as constant, but I think they need help. And this week showed it. Like, if you're not sure, you can't just throw the red card out there, because it messes not even just a team's next 3 games up, but it extends. The player has to fit back into the side. They need to get comfortable again. It really messes a team up. But Craig Pawson didn't make any terrible decisions this week. He just was very inconsistent. There'd be a push, and he would play on, and then there'd be a push and a yellow card. And that to me annoys me, because I'm watching the game and it's very start-stop. He just, if you're going to book someone, he gave Isaac Hayden was a player from Newcastle. He came in for John Shelby. He gave him 4 chances before he booked him, and when he booked him, he put up 4 fingers and he said, it's 4 times, whatever, you're getting booked now. And then I think it was Jurgensen, the big
centre back from Copenhagen.
Who plays for Huddersfield now. He went in, I think, once and got booked straight away. That's not.
No, that's just
It doesn't make sense. But
moving on to the game.
Let's talk about the football a bit more than the referees here. Huddersfield looked very good.
Very good. The game wasn't too great, but Aaron Boy scored a very good goal.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
Very good goal.
Richie had a good chance for Newcastle.
Very good chance.
A good save by Lussell. Looks like a very good keeper. Moy was the only goal in that game.
He's the heartbeat of that team.
Absolutely.
So I just hope that he just needs to stay fit, and I think I
think if they're big players, if Meunier and Moy and Ince, who all played very well in that game, if they all stay fit, I think Huddersfield definitely are staying up. The way they're playing is incredible. I was looking at them at their side, thinking, they've got a Championship team, and they really do. They've got a lot of their players have moved up from the Championship. They haven't really invested a lot of money. They've brought in Ince.
Brought in a player from Porto. I think the striker is from Porto, isn't he?
Who?
I forget his name. What's his name? I forget his name. We can continue.
Oh, okay. They brought in Ince, who himself is a Championship player. They already had Moy on loan last season. They bought him. Same with Kachunga, the Norwegian right wing.
He's German.
Is he German?
I think he's German. He's some other nationality.
He's definitely got more than one nationality. And then Meunier was kind of a nobody. They haven't really bought Premier League players.
No, they haven't bought.
But their
Jurgensen as well, they bought from Copenhagen.
But their system is so good.
Because he's getting players, like I said before, about Wenger, he's getting players in that suits him.
Absolutely. He knows what way he wants to play, and he's not being sucked into signing these huge names. He's just getting relative nobodies who he knows can play the system he wants, and it looks like they're going to stay up.
The thing is, though, I said this last week, and I might even eat my words come the end of the season, about how a good coach can only take you so far.
Yeah.
Well, he can, with how they're playing, he might keep them up.
I mean, he can keep them up, but after that, I think your point comes into fruition. How far can Wagner take Huddersfield?
Especially with a lot of bigger clubs going to be sniffing around him.
He is going to have to start making big name signings, and it's going to be hard to spend 25-30 million on a very specific player that he knows that he needs and that he knows will fit into his team. But as of now, Huddersfield are looking quite good. Newcastle aren't.
No, I think they need to make some signings.
They need to make some signings fast.
Yeah.
They look Championship at best.
Yeah. I was talking to someone Sunday after the game, I was in town or whatever, and he was like, it's that owner. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's just because the prices are so fluctuated. That's the excuse they're coming out. The prices are so fluctuated, we can't get anyone. it's Newcastle United. You make so much money. That stadium's sold out every week.
Yeah, like Newcastle, to me, Newcastle and West Ham not so much now with this new stadium, but Newcastle and West Ham have the best supporters in the league.
They sell out the stadium every week. The merchandise gets bought every day. They make it so like they've definitely got money there.
Yeah, absolutely, especially even from the Moussa Sissoko sale.
Just
30 million for him. And Wijnaldum as well.
That's football now. You've got to put the money on the table to get players.
Of course. They, like I said, they look championship at best. Matt Ritchie looked okay. Dwight Gale looked lost. Didn't really involve him enough. Perez hasn't really developed.
No.
I don't really see Iosi Perez staying in the Premier League right now.
I'm pretty sure we rated him at one point when they went last in the Premier League. We thought he doesn't look too bad.
He doesn't look too bad, but he's gone away, or he's gone down, should I say, to the Championship, and he hasn't really
kicked on.
Yeah,
Mitrovic as well.
Mitrovic is barely played. Yeah. That's the thing. Mitrovic is on the bench. Newcastle were chasing the game. 10 minutes left to go.
Bring him on. Lump the ball up to him.
Brings on Diame. Yeah.
I don't know why.
They've got no clinical players in that team, and they've just signed Joselu.
He's shite.
Yeah, for £5 million, and he's a bad version of Mitrovic.
Yeah, no,
he's a target man. You've already got Mitrovic.
Yeah, you've just got one of Stoke's sort of scraps basically.
I don't
know why.
Atsu was their best player last week. He barely got involved this week.
I think they need to get him the ball more.
Absolutely, I think Atsu could change games for
that team. Even last season. Sorry to interrupt again. But after
we've even talked about this, that we need to stop interrupting each other. But
But last season, even John Joe Shelby is like Moy. He's the heartbeat, in a way. In a keep. He is like that player who's going to start stuff off.
Yeah, they're different players though. Moy is more of a Moy is going to try and do everything.
Yeah.
But Shelby is much more of a creative spark.
With him when he's out of the team, even last year, they looked so clueless.
They looked unbelievably bad last year without him.
Even with Richie, then is the other Richie and Matsu, the other two sort of bright sparks, but
Richie looked okay.
Yeah.
They played Marino and
Hayden.
Yeah, neither of them looked very good.
Yeah, they don't even have a left. They need a left back actually.
Do they?
Playing Mbemba left back.
But they've got a lot of left backs in the club.
Dummett's injured. Who else have they got?
They've got that new signing that got injured against Spurs. The Spanish name, Juan Vega, or I don't know.
Is Haidara still there?
Yeah.
Why put him? But okay, that baffles me. Why would you put him in the left back?
To be fair, Kieran Clark plays there, or he played there for Villa a while, a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think they need to sign left back.
Yeah. That's another thing as well, actually.
What? They need to sign. I think
Clark played for the team who finished bottom, then went to Newcastle. Yeah. Now he's back in the Premier League. So I don't know.
They need to sign somebody. I think they need to sign a better version of John Shelby.
Yeah.
I think they probably need to replace Perez, get a good attacking midfielder in, and probably a better striker.
Yeah.
I mean, Gale was very good last season, but again, it's Championship. Things change. Moving on to the big game of Sunday was Spurs-Chelsea.
This was a very good game, actually.
I was very impressed with Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm not going to play David Luiz centre mid. I'm not going to play David Luiz centre mid. Played him centre mid." He played Rudiger,
Christensen,
and
Luiz with a back three, weren't they?
No, they had another centre back.
What?
They had another centre back, I thought. Azpilicueta. Yeah, and then they had Moses wide right, Alonso wide left, Bakayoko and Luis and Kante in the middle.
Oh really? Geez.
Yeah, and then they had Willian behind Morata.
Yeah.
First 5 minutes, Morata had the best chance he's ever going to have in his career, and he put it wide.
That was
an open header, 5 yards out, and he put it wide. That was shocking to me. I'm talking about the formation and the way Conte played because he was adaptable.
Yeah.
And he's adamant that he doesn't want to play forward to back. He wants this wing back thing, and he's changed the formation to suit the team.
I think he's one point. I think he's the best manager in the league for this. He knows he's not afraid to change.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the start of last season, he went with 4-2-3-1. No, it didn't work against Arsenal.
Changed it. Radically changed it.
3 at the back.
Yeah.
won the league. So
Yeah, unbelievable. Like almost ran away with the league.
yeah,
You would be like a very strong side. Willian played pretty well.
yeah.
Alonso, first goal, the free kick.
What a goal!
Brilliant.
Brilliant free kick.
David Luiz first half was awful. He was out of position all the time, didn't look good, and then like after about 35 minutes, he sat back and played quite well. Yeah, as I said, like that Chelsea unit looked very strong, especially away from home. And it was an interesting stat that Chelsea have played more games at the new Wembley than Spurs have. So it was almost like a home game, more so for Chelsea than Spurs. Chelsea were decent, I guess. Spurs not so much. Spurs are kind of losing, or don't have, a bit like Arsenal and Newcastle.
Yeah.
Apart from Eriksen, they didn't really have anyone
else there.
Yeah.
Really.
It's really difficult for Spurs though, because if you look at the team they have, Lloris, Trippier, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, I mean they have Rose left back,
who kind of wants to leave.
yeah. And then they had Wanyama, Dyer, Eriksen, Ali, Kane. I can't remember who else.
Son.
They've got Son. Like they've got a really good starting 11.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like they need to sign someone.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like they're missing something.
They signed German Sanchez from Ajax.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about him in a second
Yeah.
because like.
I don't see why they need to sign him.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll get to that in a second. I feel like they don't have a lot of depth.
No.
When they took Dyer off for Son, that's when the game opened up because they really lost. Oh, they got Dembele. That was it.
Yeah,
They're playing Dembele,
Wanyama in the middle,
and Dyer behind them, I think, and then Ali and Eriksen, and then Kane up front. Who was their left back for this game? Do you remember?
No.
I don't think it was Rose.
Do you actually know?
Oh, it was Davies.
Davies, always been Davies, yeah.
Of course. I just feel like they're missing. Like if you look at Chelsea, they've got Hazard.
Yeah.
They've got Willian. They've got Pedro. They've got Alonso who can show he can change a game. Now they have Morata. Spurs have Kane, Eriksen, and Ali, and Son.
Son when he comes on.
Like I just feel like they don't have enough, but they're still a really good team. It's really confusing.
Arguably, if you look at it, if football was on to 1 to 11, they'd probably have the best team.
I think they probably have the best starting 11. Maybe Man United.
Yeah, arguably them too.
Yeah, but I Spurs baffle me. Pochettino baffles me as well. When they were 1-0 down, they brought Sissoko on as their game changer. Like that's what I mean. You can't be bringing Moussa Sissoko on as a game changer and think you're going to win the league.
I think with him though, he's literally going to keep playing him until he's saying I was right about him, and he actually isn't bad. He keeps failing every single time.
Sissoko for years has proved that he's not at the races.
Yeah.
Like he had a good Euros.
Yeah.
Knows it. That's the first thing he's done.
A good game for Newcastle as well.
That's the first thing that he's actually done, like since, or in like 3 years. Realistically, that's the first like 3 or 4 games span that he's gone of good games. £30 million. Michy Batshuayi for Chelsea came on.
I swear, that was some finish.
Honestly,
Shame it was in the wrong goal.
Amazing finish. If he'd done that on the other net, I'd be singing his praises.
But it was in the wrong goal.
Like I don't even know what he's thinking. He headers it towards. Honestly, Batshuayi in the bad books. I'm not a fan of Batshuayi.
I felt though. With the Spurs before, I thought, to be fair, if I was a Spurs fan that game, I'd be like, shit, we're playing at Wembley, we might get battered here. You only lost 2-1. I personally think they didn't play that bad. Who hit did Kane hit the post?
Kane hit the post twice.
Yeah, twice.
Eriksen hit it again, I think, as well. They hit the post, I think, 3 or 4 times in the last 5 minutes after them.
So I think there is positives to take.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying that for me, I think Spurs are missing something, and I don't know what that something is. You mentioned that guy Davinson Sanchez. So he's their first signing of the summer. £42 million. He's 21 years old for ball-playing centre back.
And they've got the best centre back partnership in the league, arguably last year.
I mean, I don't think there's an argument there, Sam, to be honest. Like, in a back four, I think they're the best two centre-backs.
They're class. Like,
Vertonghen has been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And Alderweireld at Southampton was...
They both came from... But they both started in the same club, Ajax, the same as Sanchez. So they know, the Ajax way is built from the back.
Yeah.
So why would you be like, okay, we want to get this guy? Unless he wants to change the three at the back.
Oh, if Spurs go to three at the back, I swear to God. Because it doesn't suit them either. Like, they've got... right. Three at the back Spurs, who's starting?
Lloris. Well, obviously Lloris.
Right, of course Lloris, yeah. Right wing back, Trippier. Left wing back, Davis or Rose. So then this back three is Sanchez, Vertonghen and Alderweireld. So then what would they play? 2-1-2? Or, well, no, they play one up front, so 3-4-3
or something.
What? No, I mean from the midfield.
Oh, right.
If they've got five at the back, how many centre mids did they play? 3?
Probably. So, Wanyama,
Dembele and Dyer.
The Dyer.
Right.
So then
you play 1-1 after that. Yeah. So you play Eriksen and Kane, so you leave Ali out.
Ali out.
So then you take Dyer out and you put Ali beside Eriksen.
Yeah. And
you play the two centre mids, Wanyama and Dembele. And as it showed in the Chelsea game, when they took Dyer out, they really had no stability. Exactly. So then you take Dembele out, who's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, and you put Dyer in, you've got defensive stability. Yeah. But then you put Dembele in, you take Wanyama out, and you're missing your ball playing midfielder. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense for Spurs to play three at the back. It doesn't make sense to sign this £42 million defender. David Luiz is the most expensive defender of all time at 50 million. They're only 8 million less than that, and this guy's 21.
I don't understand.
The club that he played for, did he move from Ajax?
Who?
This Davinson Sanchez guy. They bought him for £4 million.
They make bare profit on players.
That's £38 million in 2 years. Like, I don't know much about him, but it really seems like a questionable at best signing. Like, if he's a backup, it's a very expensive backup. I think for £42 million, you could replace Lamela and get another solid attacking mid, or get or replace Walker or somebody, or bring in Serge Aurier, who they've been linked with.
He's got a court case though.
Court case?
Yeah, he assaulted a police officer. Oh. So if he doesn't win that, he can't leave the country, basically.
Okay, I didn't know that. But I just feel like 42 million is far too much.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the City Everton games, the Monday night game, first Monday night football of the season. Not a fan of Monday night football.
I'm not a fan of Monday night football.
You're not a man of Sunday night football?
No, Monday, sorry. Or Friday night football.
Yeah, not a fan of it. It pushes the podcast out, which is the main issue. But another refereeing conundrum. Robert Madley was the referee for this game.
Fantastic.
And if you had to give a player of the week, Sam, the best player of this week, who would you have to give it to? My personal pick would be Alonso.
Yeah, mine would probably be Alonso as well.
Yeah, so man of the week, Alonso. Wanker of the week has to be Roberto Madley. Or Roberto Madley? Robert Madley. Yeah, that's his Spanish cousin there. This guy got everything wrong. Like, holy God. This was the worst refereeing display I have ever seen in my life. And that's not an exaggeration.
I think I was watching this game in town or whatever. I saw the Kyle Walker incident, and I'm thinking, right, he's proper elbowed him in the face. And then I looked at him again, I'm like,
he didn't.
I must have been half blind.
Literally.
He didn't touch him at all. Calvert-Lewin just bought that.
It was a complete dive.
Yeah.
Like it's simulation.
Yeah.
It's not a dive. But there was barely any contact with the first tackle. It was a bit rash, whatever. Maybe you could argue that it's a yellow card. Second one, Calvert-Lewin for diving. That's the only card that's coming out there.
He was playing so well as well. I don't even see why he wanted to do that.
The referees came out at the referee association came out at the start of the season and said that when they're setting the ground rules, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They said that if you get booked, your second bookable offence has to be a big thing to get sent off. That wasn't.
No.
That was pathetic. That wasn't even a yellow card.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't even foul. Yeah. And he got sent off for it. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Rooney scored for Everton.
Yeah, that goalkeeper, what?
Oh Jesus! Like I said this about Ederson, the City goalkeeper. They brought him to replace Bravo because Bravo's not good.
Yeah,
we saw this.
Yeah,
This Ederson chap played for Benfica, and if you look at his clean sheets, you think he's the best keeper ever.
yeah,
But if you look at his shots faced to saves made ratio, it's so low for a top keeper.
Yeah.
I think De Gea has something like 85% or something like that. Buffon's in around the same, those top echelon. He's down at like 65.
Yeah.
If you're only saving a little bit over half
your shots,
that's awful.
Yeah. I mean, like, everyone was all buzzing for Rooney, and then I realised the finish wasn't even that great.
No.
He just. The
keeper should have done way better.
The thing is, right, I was thinking about this when I was coming into me in town or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. The pass-back rule has been in since 1992. Every goalkeeper has to be decent on the ball. So why Joe Hart is perfectly fine on the ball. Like, he's okay on it. He's susceptible to standouts. Yeah. And then you're just like, no, I don't like you, so...
Like, if you're trying to tell me that you're not playing Joe Hart because he can't play football, surely you could teach him, don't hoof the ball long, pass it wide.
Yeah.
As long as there's a player there, Joe Hart can pass it wide.
Yeah.
It's not like he can't play football.
Like, especially when you get, like, even in younger years, Sunday League, whatever, keepers now, like, I've seen goalkeeper train, they practice their first touch, their passes and whatever. Mm-hmm. Joe Hart, for me, would be perfectly fine on the ball.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just like because, you're English, so
it's just the mentality, the long kick mentality. I don't like his ideology of buying goalkeepers that can play football. I think it's a bit of a waste, really. Ederson looked very shaky. I feel like he could be another Claudio Bravo. The only reason he made so many clean sheets at Benfica was because of that defence.
Yeah.
And with John Stones in the defence in front of you, I mean, you're going to be facing a lot more shots. Mendy is better than Stones, but still.
When they play that back three, though, they play Company on the right. Should you play him in the centre? To tell them to...
I think the idea is that if you play a ball player in the middle, when he moves forward, the other two move together as like a back four situation. Calvert-Lewin, apart from the dive, I guess.
He was pretty impressive.
He was quite good.
Everything first half were pretty decent.
Yeah, they were. Second half kind of quieted down.
Michael Keane as well was pretty impressive.
Yeah, not bad. I have a question about Ronald Koeman. 61st minute, you're 1-0 up. You take off Tom Davies and Ashley Williams, and you bring on Davy Klaassen and Gil Sigurdsson.
I know. I don't know why. Didn't Klaassen made a good tackle though, didn't he?
At the very end of the game, a ball was played over for David Silva.
It was an interception.
Davy Klaassen just like put his balls in the line, jumped and like kicked the ball out of play. It was it saved the game, like. But I mean, apart from that, I don't see why you're 1-0 up away from home at Man City and you're bringing on two attacking midfielders for a centre midfielder and a centre back. That kind of opened the game up a little bit more. City had a lot of chances. They brought on Bernardo Silva. They had Sterling on since half-time. Sterling ended up scoring. Brilliant goal.
Class finish.
Nice finish, like.
2 minutes before. He made up for the other miss 2 minutes before. He put it over the bar.
Oh, no, I saw that, City didn't really impress, though.
No, they didn't. I feel like Bernardo Silva should be playing. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, again, it doesn't really suit City to be playing this three at the back.
Yeah.
Because
Sané and Sterling wing backs is a waste.
Absolutely. I mean, like, you've got Mendy and Danilo, and you're not playing either of them on the left. It doesn't make sense to do that. But as well, like, if you list off, like, I'm pretty sure I spoke about this last week, if you list off their attacking midfielders...
Too many.
Yeah, and they're not playing attacking midfielders.
They took off Jesus as well.
Well, that was to keep the shape.
Yeah,
they brought Sterling on, who played right wing back, and then they put Aguero's up front on his own. But like, when you're playing, they play a flat three of De Bruyne, Silva, and Fernandinho.
Yeah.
But you've got Bernardo Silva, you've got Sané, who's a winger, Raheem Sterling, who's a winger, Silva and De Bruyne, like I said, it's Jesus, who can play on the wing. So many attacking midfield winger options, and you're not playing either of them. You're not playing either of those positions. It doesn't make sense to me. Really, really doesn't make sense. I think maybe Pep's got comfortable and said that he's brought in the players that he wants to play, like Walker, like Danilo, and now he's set up the way he wants to play, and he thinks, right, this is what's go together. This love affair, but like the way he thinks that, you know, Jesus and Aguero have to play together.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't think they can. Personally, I don't. Well, I don't. With how football is now, one striker usually. And I'm saying you can go to two and you can make two work.
Oh,
brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the two that they have are full of talent. Yeah. But it hasn't been working really.
Yeah, it hasn't at all.
You know.
I feel like though, because I even wrote about this. With Aguero's injury problems, you may as well just play one and just tell Jesus, go up front, express yourself. We saw before he broke his metatarsal last season, scoring goals for fun. And then Guardiola's brought all these players in, and now you're just going to play Jesus and Aguero again. Like, it's just,
it doesn't make sense. Guardiola's very
strange,
very questionable. City didn't really impress. I was impressed enough with Everton. Yeah. Very impressed with Calvert-Lewin. Do you think he can get an England call-up? Is he English?
I think he is.
I haven't really done. I'm pretty sure.
I think though.
But World Cup year. I doubt he'll go to the World Cup.
No, I doubt he'll go to the World Cup.
He could play a few qualifiers.
Yeah, though. Big year though for Keane, and maybe even Pickford.
I think they could both get called up as well. Yeah, especially like we were saying, the centre back situation. With England, you know, if one of them gets injured, I definitely think there's a space for Michael Keane or someone like that to slot in. Want to talk about a transfer rumour?
What?
For Manchester City. Apparently, Pep Guardiola is going to cash in on Messi's buyout clause.
Stop, please. He has such a... This is the thing, though, because he knows for a fact he hasn't won the European Cup, or hasn't even been that impressive in the Champions League ever since he's left Barcelona. And let's be honest, Messi's been dragging Barcelona out of the shit for the last couple of years, because if you look at his signings, they're awful. Most of them have been
I mean, if you look at the team, Barcelona played Betis there the other day. It was on TV. They had Messi, Deulofeu and Alcacer were their front three. Like, that's some step down.
Yeah, that's the thing though, their squad has always been tiny, even if they've been the best team in the world. Like what was it?
I mean, it's very difficult to buy a player and say, right, you're second to Messi.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
But no, they've definitely. I was sitting there watching the highlights of the game, thinking, where are these lads going to finish in Europe?
Yeah.
Do you know? But yeah, £275 million.
Well, they could afford it, but
absolutely they could afford it. Thing that jumps out at me. Alright, my phone.
Yeah.
Is one of them. Surely PSG could afford that if they're willing to spend so much on Neymar.
Not financial fair play.
Come on. They got around the Neymar thing with financial fair play. Like, they can get around the Messi thing. But yeah, do you think it's going to happen realistically?
No.
I don't think Messi
I hope it doesn't.
No, absolutely as well.
I hate if it did.
Yeah, because... Yeah, no, I'd hate if it did as well. Do you think if Messi played for City, they'd win the league?
Well, I mean, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that he could change the whole team?
Yeah, well, I mean, look what he's done with Barcelona. I mean, he's been carrying that whole club on his back for the last few years.
Yeah. To be fair, Suarez has a good goal scoring ratio.
Suarez as well adds to that as well.
Yeah.
Because towards the back end of last year, with Luis Enrique in charge, his tactics were usually, right lads, just get it up to the front three and they'll do the rest.
Yeah, I feel like Barcelona are losing a bit of their mystique.
Yeah.
Like at the kind of late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah.
Or even like mid to late 2000s when Messi was breaking into the scene, and you know, the likes of when they had David Villa and when they had Eto'o and Iniesta came into his prime, and then Xavi and
Puyol.
All these fantastic players. It was really difficult to look past Barcelona.
Yeah.
But now I just kind of think, not even that Neymar is gone, I just feel like if you look at their team, like Sergio Roberto scored one of their goals against Betis. They beat Betis 2-0.
He's a central midfielder, he's playing wing back.
Yeah, Barcelona beat Real Betis 2-0. And in my mind, they should be beating Real Betis like 5-0.
Yeah, they always smash them anyway. I remember when I used to watch when I did watch La Liga, when they were in like that team was in their peak, they'd always stick 4 or 5 past them.
Yeah,
so
it just seems like they've really, I guess, declined. So they're all the Premier League games.
You forgot one thing: Schneiderlin's red card.
Oh, I did, Sam. I haven't. Good man. I haven't got it written down.
I didn't even realise he got sent off when I was watching.
I actually have 2 reds, neither correct calls written down, but I obviously just talked about the Walker one.
Pretty pathetic decision.
Ridiculous decision.
He's got the ball.
The first yellow card was a yellow card.
Yeah.
That's no bother. But the second was an amazing tackle.
It was a great tackle.
Literally, like, the ball's coming to Aguero. He slides in, he wins the ball, and his trailing leg nicks Aguero, and Aguero looks like there's a sniper in Rosette who's just shot his leg off.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing with Aguero as well. This is why I kind of don't really like him. He does this little play acting bullshit all the time.
Oh, here now. To be fair, Aguero does do that. I know what you're talking about, but a lot of people do that. Like,
but he's pretty good at it. He's got a lot of people sent off.
Yeah.
Okay, arguably last season it is a red card for Fellaini, but how he went down.
Yeah, but I mean, look,
bad.
you know, I think Malky Mackay, the ex-Cardiff City manager, summed it up best when Fellaini came on against Cardiff when you're in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Malky Mackay said Fellaini did what he did best. He got his afro and his elbows into people's faces. So, but no, I mean, the Schneiderlin red card was pathetic. Like, they have to rescind that.
I don't think they can. I saw something they can't.
Why? Oh, is it because it's 2 yellows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that as well. It's ridiculous. Like, you know, Everton were going mad. Like, Schneiderlin was pointing at Aguero, shouting at him, and he looked angry, and I would be too, because it's never a yellow card.
Yeah.
Like, even we'll say fine, it's a foul, which it isn't, because he wins the ball. It's a brilliant tackle.
Yeah.
The referees association coming out and saying, oh, you need to, the second yellow needs to be a big thing to get sent off.
Yeah.
Not a big thing. If it is a foul, if he does get him first, it's still just an early tackle then, at best. Like, there's no scenario. I don't even think that the most diehard City fan could say that that's a yellow card. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
Like, no, the thing though, it's like Aguero's like just Otamendi and Aguero just like, no, you've just killed me, just go. Sort of like they're kind of like, well, we've just got him sent off.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't going to change. It was like 2 minutes from the end. It wasn't really going to change the result. It's not like it's 10 minutes from.
No, but that's what I mean, Sam. Like, it's going to change Everton's next couple of games because Schneiderlin's a key part of that team.
Yeah, he's banned for 3, isn't he, or is he 2?
I think it's 2 because it's second yellow. But it could be 3. I could be wrong. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's already been investigated? Neither Aguero nor Calvert-Lewin are going to be suspended for diving after they got Schneiderlin and Walker sent off respectively. Do you think that's fair?
No. The FA, what was it, before the start of the season, like, right, anyone who dives or play acts is getting booked. Or bullshit. I thought this before.
No, I thought like, oh, it's great, diving's going to actually... Like, I was naive. I thought, oh, great, diving's going to stop.
No chance. They've done this before. They do it like every couple of years. Like, we're going to crank down and cheating and diving and rescinding.
No, you're not. It's pathetic, really. It's sad to see as well. I feel like all the new signings into the Premier League need to take acting courses before they're allowed onto a pitch as well. Yes, that's all the Premier League games. I want to talk a little bit about... We were talking about Barcelona.
Yeah.
I guess just to fill a bit of time.
Yeah.
Champions League predictions?
I think it'll be Real Madrid again.
Yeah.
Or Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to look past Madrid.
It's so hard though now, because when I was watching that competition, there was like you could pick out like 15 teams to go in the bloody thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like 2 or 3.
Yeah, which is another sad fact of football. Like, if you look back into the 70s and stuff.
Yeah. Leeds, you won a fucking Champions League final, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's incredible, like, just mental. Like, Barcelona beat, like, Dusseldorf in a Champions League final. Real Madrid beat Eintracht Frankfurt 7-3 in, like, 1964 or something.
And that was just change, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's difficult to look past, like you said, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Do you think Juventus have a of a chance, really. Like, I look at the Juventus team and I never really think, oh yeah, they can win the Champions League. But they always seem to do well.
Yeah.
Like, Dybala and Higuain are obviously great players.
I feel like the whole, even though Bonucci's a massive loss, Bonatti is not a bad player to bring in.
Yeah,
if you think, or Regani.
Yeah, Regani looks a tidy young player as well.
Danny Alves is a big loss though. I don't know who they played wing back against.
What do you think of PSG actually?
Well, I mean, I watched them. I actually decided to watch them against Toulouse.
Oh yeah.
Neymar just levels above everyone.
Yeah, I mean it's French league.
Do you see Gazzara's scissors kick? It was a class goal.
Really?
Neymar corner, straight to Gazzara's scissors kick, straight in the bottom corner.
Nice one.
So, I think.
Do you think they can translate that to the European stage?
Yeah,
though?
I think so. I think Neymar is going to take them.
Really?
Yeah.
They've been heavily linked to the Alexis as well.
Imagine them too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I feel like next week, if Ozil and Alexis don't leave, especially because apparently Alexis is coming back next week.
Yeah.
There's about 9 days left in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Next week we'll probably discuss Ozil and Sanchez.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see how they both play if Alexis does play against Liverpool. But I mean, it's very difficult to say with PSG. I don't really think European-wise Neymar can.
You really think?
No, I think they need to. I think it's very, narrow-minded to say we just broke the transfer record, and now we're going to win the Champions League just because we've Neymar. I think they're a strong team.
They've lost Matuidi though, and he's a big player for them. He was a big player.
Yeah, I mean they have Kvaratskhelia and Rabiot, and Verratti is also a very good player.
Yeah, they've kept. I think they're going to keep him. He'll be a big.
And Cavani's a proven goal scorer. But it's just Ben Arfa as well. I don't know.
Ben Arfa is just rotting on that bench.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Shows you how much I know about PSG. Yeah. But I mean, I don't really think there's anyone else you can look at. United. Could they win the Champions League?
Well, if you look at the Super Cup, probably not. But that's.
I mean, that's a little bit different.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different.
You never know.
I mean, United are looking pretty good in the Premiership, but just we'll see if that turns.
It'd be interesting to see what group they get in as well. Yeah. There could be a few.
Knowing them, they're going to get like Celtic and PSV and like Anderlecht.
Yeah. Knowing United, they'll probably draw to Celtic or lose to Celtic or Parkhead.
Well, yeah. I mean, who knows?
Because there's another. Actually, I know we're going a bit off topic. That's another thing. When Celtic played City at Parkhead, Pep kind of just came out and was like, "Yeah, this should be very easy. Celtic aren't that great." Dembele scores in 5 minutes, and he's like, "Fuck." But yeah, that's a little point I had to make. So we can go back.
Sam loves Scottish football.
I do love Scottish football.
That's why he wants to talk about.
Love Scottish football.
Wow. I think. Do you have anything else to add? I think that might be it.
No, not really.
No. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Be tuned. Be tuned. Great ending. Yeah. Be sure to tune in next week on SoundCloud or on
YouTube.
The Centre Circle on both.
Yeah.
Sam, how can people find you on Twitter?
At Samatello. I'll link it in the description.
And you link mine as well because I don't know my
Byrne 34.
There you go, Byrne 34. Check Sam out on Real Sport. Outside of the boot, and
extra time.
If you
care about Irish football.
If you care about Irish football, if you care about football, and thanks very much. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it around. And thanks for listening.
See ya. Bye bye.
You did not just say.